Amazing. Today is the best day on our show, and we consider all of you at home like our family. So today, it's an honor to showcase somebody who is part of our family on World Autism Awareness Day. We're going to showcase his superpowers today. Madden Orlovsky is here. Dan, we're going to celebrate anybody who's touched by autism, and Madden has created all of the artwork in our studio for today.
Yeah, I mean, Madden, last year was the first year, obviously, that we did this, and it was a very cool moment. And Madden's been working hard at new drawings and a little bit of remakings, and this is him 15 minutes ago walking in and seeing all of his drawings all over the studio. There's so many individual characters. Obviously, that's Albert Einstein with the tongue out. I think there's some Dude Perfect guys, as always, individual characters and buddies. I think he's got logos of every team in the NFL. He drew the NFL logo for every team as well.
And Madden's going to be drawing for us throughout the show.
Yeah,
we'll be checking in with him. We have some special surprises. Dan, before we get going here, what does it mean to you as a dad to watch him enjoy this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously last year was a very emotional day. And we talked about it last year. I talked about it last year where it was probably the first time that I had witnessed him kind of stepping out of the, I guess, label and thriving under, I guess, his own rules, and him being on full display, and that was why there was such emotion. And I think now even more, like watching him even in the first couple minutes, I think it's what I love about it, and I'm trying not to get emotional about it, is what I love about it is it's his. Like, it's his thing. It's his, like, we work in sports, so kids have their own, like, oh, I'm great at this sport or that sport, but this is his, and it's, I'm so thankful that ESPN and you guys let me be a part of it. Gosh, I'm 4 minutes into the show. Yeah, and he's just a special, special human.
He really is. By the way, Dan, it's okay to be emotional about this. It's really cool.
At least I made it to the end of the show last year.
We're all emotional right along with you. And I know Tiffany and the rest of your family's watching at home. There's even some watch parties right now for this. So, Madden, that's just how special you are.
I mean, this is unsolicited right now. He does this at our house nonstop. It's unsolicited. I have no idea where it comes from. He just goes, and it's his favorite. It's when he's probably at his happiest.
Madden, what are you drawing right now?
Let's draw and watch ESPN.
I love it. We're going to keep checking back in. Oh, go ahead.
Who's that? Okay, so
me.
That's you, Madden.
Mario.
The Mario movie is out this week.
Yep. And
Luigi. Amazing, dude. Good job, pal.
Again, we'll see what else he draws. That brain is incredible. We're going to get to some breaking news today, and we have Adam Schefter joining us as well for that. Adam, this involves Kirk Cousins, as you see Madden's artwork all over the breaking news slate there. What can you tell us about Kirk Cousins today, Adam?
Well, Laura, first of all, shout out to Madden Orlovsky for just doing a tremendous job. Love having him in studio, and you should be very proud he's doing an awesome job. As for Kirk Cousins, gets done a one-year deal today with the Las Vegas Raiders worth $20 million. The Raiders will pay him a $10 million roster bonus next year. They'll pay him $1.3 million this year. The Falcons will pay him $8.7 million. That gets us to $20 million fully guaranteed for this year. Now, it's a 5-year contract. We won't get to that. It will not happen. It'll be the 1-year, $20 million deal, but it will mark the 11th straight year that Kirk Cousins has had his contract fully guaranteed. It will move him into second all-time in money made as an NFL player, behind only, I think at this point in time, Aaron Rodgers, and just ahead of Tom Brady. Kirk Cousins has had an unbelievable career, but no, not more so than as a businessman in the NFL. Now he winds up with the Raiders, where he's reunited with head coach Clint Kubiak, whom he worked with for 3 years in Minnesota.
It's Madden's Raiders logo, by the way. And Dan, when you think about the way this deal could work out, right?
Sure.
I mean, Kirk Cousins making all this money, it's good, but it's a team-friendly deal if he can play well and bridge the gap for Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, it's probably the best thing that the Raiders could have done for Mendoza, outside of maybe the addition of a dynamic playmaker on the outside. Number one, experienced quarterback that you don't have to rush Mendoza. Two, he knows this offense inside and out. And I think that's probably going to be the biggest hurdle for Fernando Mendoza once he gets to the NFL is learning an offense that is going to be very foreign to what he's used to. If you just look at Clint Kubiak, since 2021, this is a big deal, okay? Over half of his team's snaps have been from underneath center. And if you look at who Fernando Mendoza was in college, that's a shocking number. Over 1,000 pass attempts, only 5 of them were from under center. The Kubiak family, Clint's not going to change. He's not going to completely go to a shotgun style as a play caller. So this is a coach that grew up watching his father coach a certain way, stylistic-wise. It's not going to change. And so I think that's going to be a really important thing. It's almost like Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. Fernando Mendoza is going to have to really get comfortable playing from underneath the center. It will not happen by October. It will not happen by November. And that's why having Kirk Cousins there, allowing Mendoza to get comfortable doing that is such a big deal.
And Dan, Clint Kubiak this week at the NFL owners' meetings in Phoenix talked about the fact that in a perfect world, he would find a veteran to bring in there to be able to start out the season. They're not looking to rush along Mendoza. They want to be able to take their time. This isn't about Mendoza starting in 2026. This is about Mendoza being the quarterback of the Raiders for the next decade plus. And so they can break him in with a great role model in Kirk Cousins. Some people have said that Mendoza seems like a taller version of Kirk Cousins, and he will be a great role model as the two men work in the same quarterback room moving forward. And obviously with Cousins' relationship with Kubiak, he can help bring Mendoza along, and they can form a great relationship amongst all of them.
Yeah, I've seen some people say, like, I want just a camera to follow those two around in Vegas.
Those
You
meeting
have
rooms?
Hard Knocks. Yeah, exactly. We'll get to see a lot of interesting things with those two. By the way, Kirk Cousins has taken the third most snaps under center over the last 5 seasons, to your point about just how familiar he is with that. Okay, now to a developing story that we are following in the NFL surrounding Rams wideout Puka Nacua. Adam, what more can you tell us?
Well, Laura, his attorney said yesterday to the California Post that Puka Nacua has been in rehab for a while now and is expected to be there for a while. Puka Nacua has had a handful of off-the-field issues, one related to a New Year's Eve incident where he was accused of allegedly biting a woman who filed a civil lawsuit. There have been other accusations levied against Puka Nacua, and obviously sometime after the Super Bowl, he found himself checking into a rehab clinic in the Malibu area in California, where he currently is housed. And he will be there for a little bit of time. The Rams said their thoughts are with him. They want to make sure that Puka gets his life here on track, straightened out. And obviously, once he does that, then they can move on to the football element of things. There's some football questions pertaining to his contract, his future there. But for the time being, he is in Malibu, and they want to make sure that he gets his life straightened out.
And no player has been targeted more on their route since Puka Nacua made his NFL debut in 2023. The countdown is on, by the way. We're now 21 days away from the draft in Pittsburgh, and the Steelers hold the 21st pick. Could we see Pittsburgh looking at a quarterback there? Some have wondered, but new Steelers head coach Mike McCarthy spoke earlier this week about the big QB questions surrounding Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm not going to really get into timelines. So we're in constant communication. Talked to them last night, so we're in a good space, and we'll just continue to work through it. I think the quarterback room is going to be coached the same way, whether he's in there or he's not. It's, you coach to the lead player, because if you're going to build if you take the passing game, if you're truly going to be tied to the discipline and the footwork and the teachings of how that position plays and is coordinated with the perimeter, they all have to be synchronized. So that part won't change.
I mean, Adam, it all seems like it's pointing toward Aaron Rodgers going back to the Steelers, but what are you hearing? You've talked about this timeline. Let's update everybody on that, as well as just the likelihood that Rodgers returns.
Art Rooney, the president of the Steelers, essentially said this week that they would like an answer before the draft, which is 3 weeks from tonight in Pittsburgh. Now, what's interesting is initially, when the season ended, they thought they might get an answer within 30 days. Then it was supposed to be in mid-March, and now it's supposed to be sometime before the draft. It keeps being pushed back. Unclear why the deadline continues to be pushed, not deadline, but timeline for Aaron Rodgers to give an answer, but there's been no indication that he doesn't want to come back yet. But with Aaron Rodgers, you never know what the actual answer is until you hear it from the man himself. And again, the Steelers are cautiously optimistic that he will return. He will return and take over as the starting quarterback in Pittsburgh under Mike McCarthy. They've been acting like he's going to be back with him and Mike McCarthy speaking regularly now. Why would they be doing that if he weren't coming back? So clearly we're just waiting for an official answer from Aaron Rodgers, but nothing of that sort just yet, Laura.
Yeah, let's live in a world, Dan, where Aaron Rodgers is going back to Pittsburgh, because that's what it seems like. Have they done enough around him offensively to make this be successful? Because it didn't look very good many times last season.
I think personnel-wise, yeah. I think this offense is set up to be a good offense in every area but one, and that one is a question mark. I like the offensive line's a young and improving group. Good backs, addition of Rico Dowdle, obviously the trade for Michael Pittman Jr., still have Freiermuth and DK Metcalf. So I think that perimeter-wise, there's really good players, and I think this is going to be an efficient offense, which is what Aaron wants to be. But my big question mark is how Mike McCarthy will take them to become an explosive offense. You're not going to really win your division. You're not going to matter in the playoffs unless you find ways to be explosive. This is, and Mike McCarthy's word was perfect, synchronized. This will be a synchronized passing game, which will breed efficiency, but it'll be the same offense as last year that at times might be able to create one or two big plays, but not on a consistent basis. And I think that's the question mark. If Aaron's the starter, and I think a lot of us fully expect him to be, with Mike McCarthy, who brings that West Coast passing game timing and rhythm, that's great. But you have to be explosive in the NFL right now from an offensive pass game perspective. I don't believe lining guys up on the outside and saying win one-on-one is something that is sustainable. And that's kind of how Mike McCarthy played in Dallas.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit how they played last year. If they figure out how to be explosive, I think this has got a chance to be a good offense, yes.
By the way, I want to give a shout out to our director, Tim Farrell, who's made Madden's artwork come to life in here. And
Tim's
Tim,
idea.
I need to call you out for a second because I need Dan's single shot again. Can you just go back to that for a second? I love how it says doink right over your head. Madden Orlovsky today on World Autism Awareness Day. We gave Madden a gong. And Madden's over there with his actual
Careful
drawings.
what you wish for, guys.
Those are the actual papers that you gave to our director, Tim, who was able to make this come to life.
Some of these are nuts. I'm walking over real quick. So, like, I'm being honest, Mads, this one is insane. The Broncos one.
Yep.
Look at that.
The Patriots one is better.
Yeah, the Patriots one is great. Where's the
Lions was
Houston
excellent
Texas
up there.
is good.
the Texans is good. What was the best? Oh, the Vikings one is off the charts.
Where is it?
We'll find it. It's up here somewhere.
That one's
Vikings
in
one
a
is
Hall
right.
of Fame.
Okay.
Can we get some logo redesigns?
Yeah, these are NFL. He can redesign the logos.
He's also a musician, apparently. And we have a new drawing to introduce to the fold here. Field Yates, you have the great honor of being drawn by Madden Orlovsky. Let's see what Field looks like.
What do you got?
I am
Oh, I love it.
Mads, look.
so cool.
Here's your
What
picture.
an honor.
What?
Here's your picture of Field.
Yep, that's him.
That is amazing. Thank you. This is one of the coolest things that I have ever seen. What can I get? Can I take this with me home?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Madden. You are the man. Although I was telling your dad during the break, and your dad is like 6'8", so it makes sense. You're getting so tall, man.
Yep.
You're going to be taller than me soon.
Yeah.
Yep.
You told me because you've been working out.
Can I show him this picture?
Yeah,
Yes,
show 'em,
go
dude.
right
Go
ahead.
Absolutely.
It's
What's
me
that?
me as an Eagles player.
As an Eagles player?
Yep.
Nice.
That's awesome. On ESPN too, bud. Why number 3?
Because 3 is my favorite number.
Why is 3 your favorite number?
Because there's Hunter, Man, Noah.
Which you are a triplet, yes. And your
Yep.
brothers are Hunter and Noah.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Oh, my goodness.
It's so
You
fun.
guys, I'm trying to keep it together here, and it's hard. Okay, we're going to stay on with the Eagles as we've got something to get to here. We have a special guest sending Madden a message. And Madden, you're going to want to watch this.
What's up, Madden? It's Devontae Smith. Heard you're a big fan of mine. I'm also a big fan of you and your artwork. On behalf of the Eagles, I'm sending you a swag bag so you can proudly rep us. Go Birds.
So
A
Devontae
shout out from
Smith sent you stuff.
Devontae Smith.
Cool.
That's awesome.
We're gonna bring that to you, I believe.
He said cool. He sent
Coming
you a
your
swag
way.
bag, bud.
We're gonna get it right now.
We're in a different studio today, so everything.
Here it is.
Look at this.
Look at the swag.
Come here, bring it over here, bro. What do you got?
There's Swoop,
Swoop.
He is awesome.
Eagles hat. What else?
Shirt.
A shirt.
Hoodie. And this is no, you want to read it? This is written to you.
Let me just see what else is okay. I think that's it. Okay, let's see.
You want to read it?
Madden, happy Autism Acceptance Month. It was so great to have you at our All Abilities Clinic. We are so excited to celebrate you not only this month, but 365 days a year. Please enjoy this box of swag to rock and wear proudly as a member of our community. Best, Eagles Autism Foundation.
Good job, bud.
Wow.
Thanks, Eagles. Jiminy Christmas, man.
And how is this for timing, you guys? This tweet came across X yesterday. Jeffrey Lurie said the Eagles Autism Foundation just got an anonymous check for $15 million because they thought we did the best at evaluating and exciting research projects to invest in, and they watched our process. In April, the Lurie Autism Institute will announce their first founding director. Quote, I think Philadelphia will be the epicenter for autism research in the world. That's from Jeff Lurie.
Amazing.
Pretty
Well done.
cool.
Very well done.
Madden, Devontae, clearly a big fan of yours and an ambassador of the Eagles Autism Foundation. We heard he has a personal family connection to autism and represents autism awareness on his
Like him
cleats
even more.
for My Cause, My Cleats.
Shout out to Devontae. Thank you,
That's
man.
very cool.
Thank you.
That is
I have a lot of chills. That was really special.
supposed to do TV
We're now
right
going to transition off of Madden's favorite team to a team he probably doesn't like very much.
does
Let's
not.
talk about the Cowboys. I'm sorry, Madden. He said, wait a second, what? Elsewhere in the NFC East, the Cowboys, whose offense looked great at times last year, but their defense was not. Dallas had the fourth most efficient offense, but the least efficient defense in the NFL. Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer was asked this week at the NFL annual meetings what needs to change this season in Dallas.
Biggest thing we need to change, other than win more games? I mean, that was an easy layup, right? You know, I think it's the consistency. And when I say that, I mean in everything that we do, the way that we run the meetings, you know, the way that we practice, the way that, you know, we do our walkthroughs, all those things. And so, you know, we're a damn good football team. And we played a lot of really good football last year. We just didn't play it consistently enough. And some people think that's coach speak, but you guys know me, that's real. Like, I mean, we just weren't consistent enough last year.
So, Dan, it feels like every mock, and Field's been a part of this too.
Sure.
It's got Dallas going defense round one. Is that the only option they should be looking at, or would you consider an offensive player?
Okay, so yes, but everyone that knows about contracts has said that this negotiation is going to be very difficult with the Cowboys and George Pickens, given performance, JSN's new contract, and whatnot. From a team-building perspective, they traded a third-round pick to acquire him.
Yep.
If a player like Carnell Tate is available at 12, could we have a conversation in a draft room where saying, okay, Dallas takes Carnell Tate at 12, gets a similar style receiver for a significantly cheaper cost over the next 3 or 4 years, and then makes George Pickens available for a second-round draft pick in a trade? Is that a realistic, at least, thought?
Yeah, totally. So first of all, Carnell Tate could get there at 12. Is it likely? Don't know. But the way in which it happens is if we have an offensive lineman run early in the draft, then we'll see Carnell Tate still lingering in that 10 to 12 range. The wide receivers go early. It's going to be the inverse. It's going to be an offensive lineman. We on the outside do this all the time. I'm guilty of it myself, trying to become more disciplined. We talk about the draft and addressing needs. You guys, Laura was at the owners' meetings this past few days. Every coach and every GM said the same thing. The draft is about drafting for value. Draft good football players. You're trying to get 10-year building blocks, not fixing a position for just this upcoming season. I think this George Pickens contract is fascinating on a ton of levels. And if the Cowboys' history has taught us anything, this is going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight to get a deal done, if they even do get a deal done. George Pickens.
Does that make you more inclined, though?
For sure, yes. How could you not? You could not. I think you would have to be inclined if you're the Cowboys to say, Yeah, it looks great right now. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, probably the best wide receiver duo going into next year. What if George Pickens isn't a Cowboy in 2027? It's going to be CeeDee Lamb and what as your playmakers on offense?
You saw that on the screen. ESPN Analytics has a 22% chance that Carnell Tate is still there.
So it's possible.
It's possible. I mean, that's actually a little higher than I expected.
Same.
But you're right. If all these teams start drafting wide receivers early, then it wouldn't be the case because he'd be the first one to go. Adam, is it crazy to think that Pickens could also be on the trade block here?
Well, Laura, the problem with that is not only would you have to sign George Pickens a deal, you got to compensate the Cowboys. There's two elements here that have to be satisfied. I think that makes it difficult to get done. That doesn't mean it can't get done. But it's hard to imagine that there's a team out there that's going to go pay George Pickens what he wants at the number he wants and compensate the Dallas Cowboys at the same time. If we go back 1 year ago, when Pittsburgh was moving off of George Pickens, there was not a lot of interest at that point in time. George Pickens came in there, lit it up this season, became a Pro Bowl wide receiver, boosted his value significantly. But is it enough that you're going to find a team out there willing to part with a premium pick to go get a player and then have to pay that player as well? I think there'll be some skepticism around the league about whether that could happen. What's more likely to happen here is that George Pickens is not going to take part in the offseason program, which he's not allowed to do because he has not signed the franchise tender. The two sides will make a push to get a deal done by the franchise deadline, signing day in the middle of July. If they can get it done, that'd be great for both of them. If they can't, there could be a lingering issue that lingers into training camp and potentially up to the start of the season with George Pickens unsigned.
I'm totally agree with you. I just think it makes business sense for the Cowboys if the situation presents itself to at least have the conversation. And then those teams are the team New England, Washington, Tennessee, the Raiders, the Giants, obviously the teams with young, inexpensive quarterbacks. Second round pick. And then
you just
for a
wonder
player of that
maybe not the teams in their division, but otherwise I'd buy it.
Sure. You wonder too if losing Micah Parsons and how all that went makes the Cowboys say maybe we actually need to have a little more urgency here than we did before. Okay, still to come. We're talking Fernando Mendoza. He had his pro day on NFL Live on World Autism Awareness Day. Madden Orlovsky in here showing off some of his superpowers, and apparently a new one is operating the camera. This is his shot on Field Yates, and he pans right over to me. Matt, and honestly, you're making us all look pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm thankful. It's a good close-up. We're saying, potentially our camera operators, who we love very much, could be out of a job because Madden is doing such a good job.
Yeah,
Dan.
We're just trying to get through 8th grade. We're just trying to get through 8th grade, guys. We're trying to get through 8th grade and see the Mario movie tomorrow.
Oh, we have some more artwork from Madden here, and this one I'm really excited for Adam to see. Adam, this is Madden's version of you. And this could be your new headshot.
Yes, let's go.
Yes.
That's awesome, Madden. That is awesome. That is awesome. Great job by Madden there.
He says great job, bud.
Thank you.
I love it.
Is he also taking requests? Can we ask Madden to paint or draw his dad stepping on the end zone, the back line? Is that possible?
Shefty,
or no?
Shefty, come on.
Hey, Madden.
Can we get Dan one day?
Do you know about your dad stepping out of the back of the end zone?
Of course you don't.
No?
It was a great moment. It's all good.
I'll
We'll talk
spin this
about it
one
later.
down. Hey, Madden, your dad played 12 more years in the NFL than Laura, me, and Schefter combined. So that's the important part.
Yep.
I got your dad today. I got your dad.
Hey, Madden.
Babyface got my back.
Madden, how cool is your dad?
He's great.
Hey, your dad threw for 336 against a Belichick defense back in the day, too. I'm stepping up for you,
Against
Dan.
Tom Brady.
Wow.
Almost beat him.
Tom Brady doesn't play football anymore.
No, he doesn't.
We're going to put Adam Schefter back to work here with some top stories, everything going on around the league. Let's start in Las Vegas, Adam.
Well, Laura, we've got a couple of things going on in Las Vegas right now. You've got Kirk Cousins getting done a one-year deal today with the Raiders to essentially go in there, potentially be the starting quarterback there. Obviously knows Clint Kubiak very well. It's a one-year deal worth a guaranteed $20 million. It's a different deal on paper for cap purposes, but it's a situation where he now reunites with Clint Kubiak there in Las Vegas, which is something that they both wanted to have happen. Meanwhile, Fernando Mendoza is going to be visiting Las Vegas on Tuesday. The projected #1 overall pick who worked out for the Raiders at his pro day yesterday will get a chance to go visit Las Vegas. I would assume this will be his first time in the building, meeting with the people there in the area that he is expected to be working next season, and that'll be one more step towards cementing his status as the #1 overall pick in this particular draft. So the Raiders land Kirk Cousins and now have plans to bring Mendoza to town on Tuesday.
Wonder if Brady's going to be there.
Ooh.
Do we know?
I'll bet he is.
What a question by Ruddy. What a question.
Keep an eye on that one. Fernando Mendoza, by the way, working out at Indiana's Pro Day yesterday, caught up with our Louis Riddick, talking about some improvements he's looking to make as he makes the jump to the NFL.
No offense to any of the Pro Day, but my goal is to be the best quarterback in September,
right,
the start of the season, rather than being the best quarterback today, April 1st, for the Pro Day. The Pro Day is great when I showcase my guys, but all my focus is on September. Working a lot under center.
Yep.
Learning just general West Coast concepts. So no matter what team I go to, I can apply those and work on the field with them and watch film about those concepts so I can get a head start day one.
So, Phil, do you think the addition of Cousins, can he help Mendoza making some of these adjustments that he's going to have to make and the improvements that he's talking about right there?
No question. First of all, Kirk Cousins has 3 years of experience with Clint Kubiak previously. He knows this offense, I'm sure, backwards and forwards. Moreover, Kirk Cousins' superpower as a quarterback has been his ability to win pre-snap, right? He knows what the picture, he expects it to look like after the snap. I know, Dan, you and I have talked about how one of the criticisms or one of the things that you have questions about, not you, but like general you, about Fernando Mendoza coming off of his season at Indiana is that this offense was not as nuanced and sophisticated as the offense he's going to run with the Las Vegas Raiders. There's no better resource than Kirk Cousins, who can teach him not just this offense, but also, listen, you have all the physical tools that are better than mine, especially at this age of my career versus you being 23 years old, Fernando. But there are things that I can do before the snap that you may not be as primed to do right now. Once I can take that part of your game to the next level, there is a gigantic ceiling because of all the physical traits that you already bring to the table.
Yeah, it makes me real quick. It makes me think of remember Kirk at the press conference talking about how coverages have become so muddy and so, trying to diagnose. I think that's a great point of like just teaching Fernando what that means, what it looks like at the NFL, how to cheat it essentially.
Remember Patrick Mahomes said after his first season, the biggest, or maybe it was his first full starting season, he was like, the biggest thing for me is I can finally sort of comprehend and understand defenses pre-snap. Patrick was amazing as a first-year starter, but his game has only gotten more sophisticated since he's gotten more experience as well.
It's also great that Cousins is like ready to buy in on all this. He understands obviously what his role is going to be here. Dan, show us what the Raiders need to do to have success with this offense whenever Fernando gets in the fold.
I think, first of all, we talked about Mendoza at Indiana running a ton of RPOs. Clint Kubiak doesn't have a great background in him, so how much of that do they do? And then the go ball. But I want to talk about the horizontal pass game. You heard Fernando talk about the West Coast pass concept. So what is the horizontal pass game? I actually think Mendoza is really good at it. I want to start at the bottom of the screen. You're going to get this slot receiver running really a seam route, and then you're going to get a short little hook, another short hook, and a wide by the back. So just from a concept point, he's going to start 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way across the board. This is a traditional West Coast concept. When he does this, he's really good with his eyes. Everyone see where his eyes start. So he catches this snap. Right now, he is staring at that receiver. Now, when he does that, this linebacker, he widens. Okay, so if that linebacker widens, I call it connecting the dots. If he widens in zone, there's a vacancy. Now, watch Mendoza. Quickly reset. Now, outstanding. Now his eyes are all the way backside. When he peeks here, now we're going to go to this defender. Once this defender drives, okay, so 1, no, dot connected. 2, no, dot connected. Now it goes up top. When I go up top, it's really about this defender. If that defender started to hang inside, they throw that ball to the running back. Beautiful. Connect that dot. That defender widens, gets towards the sideline. That means there's going to be a beautiful vacancy for Mendoza to throw that little short hook route. Bang. That's that horizontal passing game. That's very traditional West Coast. Clint Kubiak runs it. The second thing is, and I think this is going to be the biggest challenge in Las Vegas, is how many different perimeter one-on-ones can they create? Because up top, it's really just a stop route, and at the bottom, it's a stop route. This safety at the snap is going to roll to the middle of the field. That tells Mendoza one-on-one. This is where I believe he's at his absolute best. When he gets one-on-one and he sees he's got a man-to-man matchup, he does a great job of a couple things. At the top of his drop, he immediately takes that left shoulder and points it right at his target on a consistent basis, whether throwing left or right. That's his eyes to drive that football. And then he trusts his anticipation in those situations. That ball's out of his hands right now. That receiver's just at the top of his cut. In that matchup, you got to put that ball on that receiver's left shoulder. That's really well done. I think that's his strength. So I want to see in Las Vegas kind of how Clint Kubiak takes his version of the West Coast offense in the play action game and builds certainly the shots, but the horizontal pass game with the RPOs. And then also, are they capable, when it comes to the personnel that they have, of truly creating those one-on-ones? Because that's really the strength of what Indiana's pass game was this year. One-on-one perimeter routes.
Dan, I think
Mads, I got to give this to you, bro.
I think you're going to pass that over to the better drawer in the family.
You get to draw on this now. It's going to be all over. Okay, so you got all commercial break, dude. You got to create something cool. Pressure's on.
What are you going to draw?
He's going to think of something. You got the whole commercial break. You got to do it better than I did, though.
Okay, all the time on our show and drew something awesome. We're going to do a big reveal here of it, I think. Ta-da!
Look at this.
It's you.
That took like 60 seconds.
Yeah, he fired it up pretty quickly. Good job, bub.
That was awesome.
In fact, he actually had to draw it twice because the first time we accidentally drew it the wrong way.
That was probably my fault.
It was. It's always your fault, Dan.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Dan. You're amazing
Good
and
job,
a great
bub.
dad. Okay, Mike Vrabel, we want to hear from, talking about who they could be targeting offensively, some things to keep an eye on with the Patriots.
We've talked about this since last January. We're going to try to do everything we can to strengthen our roster through the draft, through free agency, multiple ways of player acquisition. So anything that we can continue to do to strengthen the roster, we're going to try to do.
Guys need tight ends bad.
Well, I love them. Give it 8, 9 of them.
Give them all.
Bring as many tight ends as we can get.
I mean, listen, Mike Vrabel gets excited about a few things, right? One of them being tight ends, apparently, as we've seen. He seemed pretty fired up about adding firepower at that position. Is that something you see him doing early on in this draft?
It's the right draft to do so because one of the deepest positions in this class is tight end. The thing about this class that's unique at tight end is that it's kind of, what are you looking for? It seems to me, based off the Patriots' current roster, like they need a move tight end, a guy who can get some yards after the catch. By the end of day 2 of the NFL draft, I think there's a real chance we have seen Eli Stowers and Oscar Delp out of Georgia gone. Stowers perhaps as early as somewhere in round 2. He's a former Texas A&M quarterback who became Diego Pavia's favorite target at Vanderbilt. Oscar Delp was completely underutilized at Georgia, playing behind some great players and Brock Bowers and Darnell Washington. But even this past season, they just totally did not lean to him as much as his skill set would suggest. He's a great athlete, did good things with the football after the catch when he actually got opportunities. But I'm telling you, on day 3, there could be 5 tight ends that are playing meaningful roles taken after pick 120 or later, because there's like 20 or 25 decent tight ends, at least decent tight ends in this year's.
Yeah. I love Delp to them. I love that.
Like 62, maybe?
And when I think of Josh McDaniels, I mean, Josh McDaniels for 25 years has always had 2 really good tight ends. They still have Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper not there. I think that's probably the one spot that I sit right of an offensive perspective right now and say New England has to get. They have to get that dynamic tight end piece.
Yeah, he had never had 30 catches in a season at Georgia. I get it, it's Georgia. They have 5 stars in front of 5 stars.
He's such a good player, though, and he was so clutch for them. I mean, when they did go to him, he always delivered. He was rarely a bad spot in that offense when they could have used his help a little bit more, I think. All right, when we come back, we're going to dive into everything going on with the Philadelphia Eagles. We've got our resident Eagles fan in the house here. Madden Orlovsky's here. He said earlier that his dad is an Eagles fan, but Dad said that's more mom.
No offense.
Either way,
that's mom.
Madden, Eagles fan through and through. And hey, a special day like today doesn't happen without our incredible crew. I'm proud of this crew every day that we're on this show, but especially a day like today. Our director, Tim Farrell, has been working on this for almost a year. Aaron Ross in there as well, and just truly amazing the work that they've done. You can see Madden's artwork from inside our control room there. Lydell King, our coordinating producer, and Mark Eisman, who's in there, has also put a ton of care into this and making sure that we represent Madden and World Autism Awareness Day properly. We appreciate all you so much. We'll be right back here on ESPN.